one of our good friends recently told us like, what? Bon Iver in the top charts? He's not relevant anymore. Justin Vernon, Bon Iver is not a relevant band. Gotta live with that, internet. You gotta live with that. What's up, gang? This is Meanwhile on the other stage, and we hardly can even breathe or talk or communicate, but we're doing this anyway today. Today we're reviewing an album by an American indie folk outfit, Bon Iver, or like some other people call them, Bon Iver. The record is 22 million, it has 10 weirdly titled tracks, and the album is vibrant, gentle, subtle, and good. Overall, really good. Okay, that's it for our review today. No, okay, we're doing this. So yeah, Bon Iver with Justin Vernon in the lead are back with their third record, a follow-up to highly praised indie folk records. Bon Iver has only 2 official records, which is surprising since the band exists from 2007. For Emma, one, the debut one, and the self-titled sophomore one. I'm gonna say it from the start, I'm not a huge folk fan myself. I find most of the folk music sound very boring and unexciting. When the voice is good and the production is good and when the mood is right, it actually could work really well. Like, for example, I really dig this brand new Devendra Banhart record. It's a pretty nice one, very lo-fi-ish indie folk thing. And when it comes to Justin Vernon, the head mastermind of Bon Iver, he is known for his falsetto and his exciting production and his very interesting collaborations, exciting and very different collaborations. I was actually waiting for this album to drop with huge anticipation, because I knew, I had this feeling that this album gonna be experimental as fuck and that it's gonna be a big step forward for the band, for Justin Vernon. It had to be. And it is. It's arguably the most experimental indie folk record from someone as huge as Bon Iver, and at least in my folk record listening history, it's clearly the most experimental one. This album, 22 million, is quite a complicated record. It's like an echoing maze with its distant, chopped up, yet very clear lyrics, transformed yet familiar vocals, cooked up yet very lo-fi samples, and with this from time to time shimmering and clipped keyboards, occasional saxophones and gentle guitars. This maze is captivating and mysterious, and the end of the maze, perhaps something very futuristic and completely out of this world, the world we know, and the world of Bon Iver, like the classic, old school, to Emma Bon Iver. 22 million is a long way from this, again, classic sounding indie folk songs recorded in Wisconsin. The cover art and the song titles are extremely cryptic, and I'm honestly scared even to try to go there. To me now, it seems a little bit too artsy. I'm okay with the cover art though, it's great. But since I'm too tired to research, I'm sorry, okay? I really am sorry. I'm too tired to research on why the hell these tracks have this weird titles. I'd consider it just a little bit too weird, but I still think it's cool. It's cool that this album has this don't give a fuck attitude to it. It's nice, especially for someone like Bon Iver. I like the videos as well, the lyrics ones. They're quite simple, but has this strong glitch, internet, digital, modern art vibe, and this is, again, especially again for Bon Iver, is quite spectacular. So yeah, the album, the music itself, it still is an indie folk record, but with this strong presence of modern electronica. And modernism as it is, with all its synchronizations and distortions and synergies and yeah, just a lot of stuff mixed together in a ball of something. My personal most favorite track on the album is 33 God, which has this extreme Kanye West and Mike Snow, and overall modern hip-hop vibe, and some of the most amazing production tricks Bon Iver has ever done. Plus, the very much confusing and unexpected phrasing of the lyrics brings this picture all together, and it is as messy and complex as the cover art, full of different, interesting, peculiar things. Though it's intriguing throughout the whole album, in the way of production and phrasing, peak. The 10 Death Breast track is also quite mesmerizing. It is loudish, but more like in M83 manner, whom, by the way, this record reminds me of quite a lot, I think. It has this gentle epicness to it, like the classic stereotypical M83 have or had. With the Junk album, I'm not so sure anymore. On 22 Million, I also like the 666T track, or T999. The title could be read both ways, I think. It's one of the longer pieces on the album, since half of its tracks are like 2 minutes something long. 666T has this really interesting pacing and reminds me a lot of So Dearly Loved by Me and Myself, Frank Ocean's Blonde record. Plus this little lovely connection with the next track, 21 Moon Water. This track is like a perfect soundtrack for NASA time-shifting video montage. Beautiful piece, I love the instrumentation, and I think it would be even better without the vocals. Though there are not quite a lot of them, and the ones which are there sound more like an additional thing. They're very subtle and cryptic as well. Always cryptic, always really hard to understand what Vernon means. 715 Creeks is something darker and purely Kanye West-ish. There's no even a sense of instrumental there, which makes it sound either too fillery or one of the most genius tracks on the record. It's fully up to you to decide. I personally don't dig this kind of tracks, even when Kanye does them. I'm not into acapellas, especially the weird ones. But it's a cool experimentation tool, again, for someone like Bon Iver or Kanye West or whoever else. I mean, not everyone, but still. For them, it's a cool thing to do, I think. 8 Circle track seems slightly misplaced or not worked on enough. It sounds more like a cheesy jungle from the 80s and not in the cool Def Hines way, rather than an experimental indie folk piece from Justin and the Gang. I don't know, it's a sweet one, but not the best one. Quite bland. Finally, for those who missed the very, very classic old school To Emma Bon Iver, there's a closer track for you. Congrats. It's called 00000 million, and it's a piano ballad. Pretty much sums it up. Some classic laid Vernon vocals. Surprisingly, it actually fits the ending very well, perfectly. It fits perfectly as an ending to this weird experience, which is this album, 22 Million. Maybe that's why both titles have the same word in it. I don't know. That's pretty much the album. That's the tracks that I thought it would be interesting to talk about. I am also really interested to know, what do you think about all the other tracks and the ones that I mentioned? What do you think about them as well? I think they're great. I think the album is great. I wouldn't say that it's like the top one album of this year for me, or for the music industry overall, but for a band like Bon Iver, it's an extremely cool third record, and the record as it is. Experimentation is amazing, and I love when the artists experiment and when they do it right. It's also really nice that Bon Iver's fans, the ones who loved 2 first albums, they still will find things they loved about Bon Iver so much. But what is even more amazing is that this album gonna bring a lot of other different fans. Like myself, for example, I wasn't really huge on Bon Iver. They're alright. The music is alright. It's folk. I'm not really a huge folk fan. So it was like, it was a very background music. And with this album, it's actually pretty cool to just like re-listen to it and get into it and getting to know it more. Just like Frank Ocean's Blonde, or James Blake Color in Anything, or Radiohead's A Moon-Shaped Pool. I don't know, records like this. And this is pretty cool. This is pretty amazing. Bon Iver, well fucking done. Yeah, in the comments let us know what do you think about this record and Bon Iver being experimental and Justin Vernon collaborating on so many things. I personally, again, think it's amazing. He's a great collaborator. Even the funniest thing on James Blake's "Woo!" in whatever the name of the sex, the forest fire thing. It's still a cool thing. It's still a cool track on James Blake album. So yeah, Justin, love ya. Yeah, don't forget to like and share this video and to subscribe to our channel for more reviews like this and for more interesting music related stuff. We'll be back with more album related things since there are so many new albums and they're all so great and there are so many thoughts about them. And I do really want to know your opinion about the albums, your thoughts. We want some interaction. Let's do some sex in the comments. Let's not do the actual sex though. We just want to talk to you. There's some great comments out there. Keep up the good work, the internet. You're doing it right. Keep being experimental and collaborative. Enjoy the pumpkin spice and peace off.